Hi, my name is LD Nordia, Product Manager at Sony, and we're standing in front of the monitor and control area of our imaging solutions. So in the monitor and control, this is a free application from Sony. There's also paid tiers that you can increase. This allows us to connect multiple cameras. We can connect up to 20 cameras, and you can monitor and control things precisely like exposure, color, focus, as well as very key camera settings. Now, the benefit here is that it works on iPad, MacBook, as well as Android. And like I said, there's a variety of different cameras that we can control. So you'll see that we've mixed and matched over here. We've got the FX series, FX3, FX30, FX6. There's a Z200 camcorder style. This even works with most of Sony's new Alpha cameras, as well as the ZVE1. So the benefit here is being able to see what every one of these cameras is doing. And we're going to move over to this side over here. Now, you'll see me monitoring it on an iPad. And from this diagram, the way that we have this set up is multiple cameras through an access point, and then the iPad is connected to the access point, and the cameras are connected to the access point. But I also have the cameras via HDMI connected to a switcher. So this can integrate into live production as well. Your typical use case would be maybe a content creator with multiple cameras. You could be on a movie set. You could be in a vehicle with a camera mounted outside. So a lot of different applications for remotely controlling your camera. In this instance, I'm going to show you how it can be used on live production. So you have a third-party switcher, but I can monitor all the cameras on the screen. And then I can swipe through the other cameras if I have other ones connected. But these are the ones that I'm monitoring currently. So this gives me a benefit of being able to see that my color, my white balance, if I have a creative look, or if I'm utilizing a LUT, I can import and apply those to the cameras as well. I can do a bunch of different things like anamorphic de-squeeze and those type of applications. But on the base of it, I can see all these cameras, and I've got basic functionality over here that I can control. Here at the bottom, I also have where I can select and deselect cameras. And if I go into a particular camera, I now have things that I can touch focus. I'll show you the framing function in a second. I'm going to turn that off for now. Actually, I'm going to go into a different camera because I have more presets. So if I go into this camera over here, I have a very wide view. I can touch focus and pull focus to different aspects within the frame. I can also go and turn things on like auto framing. So auto framing, I can set up presets, and I can have this do a smooth move, and I'll show you what that looks like up on the screen. So what you're seeing over here is what the camera sees in full view, right? The full frame of the camera. If I click on that, you'll see how it zooms out. Now the camera is not moving. All I'm doing is I'm cropping in and out of the frame, and it looks like I've got multiple cameras just with a single camera position. I can change that to a cut. If I don't want it to do a zoom in and out, I can simply just cut from one aspect to another one. And if I need to focus on somebody, I just touch on them and it'll focus on them. So there's a lot of control. When I'm in the bottom here, I'm going to turn this off for a second. Let me zoom out again, preset, out. And I'm going to go into this camera of a different camera position. So here I've got a camera. Again, I can touch to pull focus to a different part of the set. And you can see I can pull focus back towards there, so my focus in and out. In addition to that, and I'll show you up on the screen, I can go into manual focus. And I can set manual focus pull on the sidebar over here. And I can also set an A and a B point. So I can set her as point A, and maybe I can go and select the guy in the back and set him as point B, and now you see my focus bar has changed. Now I can pull from point A to point B simply by moving that bar back and forward. Let me get out of that. And then you'll see all the different settings that I have. I've got all my different exposure settings. So I've got ISO, shutter, I can change from shutter speed to shutter angle. I've got my exposure values that I can change. Also, lookup tables, I can import LUTs, I can apply whether I'm shooting in log or in regular shooting. And then being able to switch at the same time. You've seen that I've been controlling just the look on the cameras over here. If I need to set up multiple cameras, I can set up one camera and copy it across to all other cameras just by hitting that. I'm not going to change it now because I've already got these set up. But you can just see if I have a multiple camera setup, all I need to do is frame those cameras, and then I come back and use my monitor and control. I can set up one camera and then copy that look across to all other cameras. I can change the ISO on all of them. I can change the shutter value on all of them. And then now I can move these around as well. So if I want to change that position, I can move that position to a different part. And then when I come into my quad view, this allows me to preview what I'm actually seeing on the cameras. Separate to the switching. Switching is something where the cameras are going either HDMI or SDI to a switcher, and then I can just switch separately. So I can essentially have a single camera operator that's operating multiple cameras, doing all the settings, all the adjustments, focus, and then I can have a separate operator doing switching. But as you saw in the auto framing, the camera operator can also auto frame and utilize a single camera to get multiple different angles just from a single camera position as well. So that's monitor and control. Like I said, there's 3 different versions. You get most of the features with a free version, but there are 2 upgrade steps from a basic to a premium plan as well.